Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen podcasty hot takes, whatever this is. I'm BoredGamer and I'm here with my channel editor, Zinnia.
Hi.
Hello, Zin.
Hi, Zin.
Perfect. We're going to be talking about some topics today. It's June. It's the beginning of June, working towards the middle of June, and some interesting things are happening potentially. But it is the month of Alpha 3.14. We should be in 3.14 testing, the next major Star Citizen patch for that. Pretty soon. I think the idea is it will go to Evocado within the next couple of weeks, and then on to wider PTU. So, Zin.
Yes.
Crusader and Orison as a feature. New landing zone. Are you excited for that? Do you think it's going to... Yeah? Do you think it's going to cause problems? Just adding like another large zone to the game. Do you think the servers can take it? Or do you think it's... Like frame rates, do you expect them to be super low? What's your take?
I don't know. I mean, they had issues with the Bengal in the game.
Yeah, low frame rates. We've had low frame rates at lots of the other landing zones as well. And I think that's probably the major worry here because they're adding some new cloud tech. There's a lot going on with Orison, and there's a huge view distance here, like huge view distances for the city. So that could cause some issues. But as long as you don't mind low frame rates, you'll probably be okay. Typically what will happen, though, is that we'll get low frame rates during the PTU and they'll optimize them, and it'll be playable at live, but it's not going to be ideal, is the guesstimation.
Yeah.
What do you think about the actual city and what it looks like from what you've seen?
I think it looks good. I'm looking forward to being able to walk around it and actually piece it together in my head. Okay.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Because we've only seen piecemeal pieces of inside, outside, some of the platforms. Favourite landing zone? What is your favourite landing zone at the moment? And can include Crusader from what you've seen of it, or Orison.
Well, no, I can't. You can't go.
Can we not
include? No, because it doesn't exist. And two, I haven't been there.
It doesn't exist.
I might look at it and I might actually go there and be like, oh, this is actually really underwhelming.
Landing zone is vaporware. Okay, no, that's fair enough. What's your favourite landing zone currently?
Probably New Babbage.
Okay, the frosty north.
Yeah, I like it. It's modern. It's clean looking.
See, I like New Babbage, but I don't like Microtech. I like
Microtech.
I'm not a frosty person. I don't like just white.
It's not just white though. There are green areas.
Oh, that is true.
Yeah.
If New Babbage, if they'd built it in one of the green areas, like sensible people, that would have been good. I say like sensible people. I think the idea is that there's loads of computers underneath that game.
Yes,
chilled.
It was initially a server farm, essentially.
Are they crypto mining? Is that what's going on?
No.
Yeah. What are they
Maybe.
mining? Is it the doggy? The doggy
Nobody
coin?
said anything about mining. I said a server farm.
Yeah, but farm. That means what they're farming.
Just data.
Clouds. Are they farming clouds? Because
Maybe.
that's moving on to the next thing that I want to say. Do you think we're going to get weather clouds with 3.14? Because one of the features is new cloud tech.
Did it say? No.
So I'll tell you what it says. Initial version of a bespoke system to convincingly render multi-layered volumetric clouds of varying scale within planetary atmospheres.
Oh.
Say it could be clouds, or at least steps towards weather clouds.
Yeah.
Rather than just
I know
Crusader.
that's what they're working towards, like all in all with the cloud tech. I'm thinking it's probably just going to be Crusader. Is that not tentative at the moment?
Okay, so all the stuff we're going to talk about. No, actually, most of it's not tentative. But Crusader, Orison, and Cloud Tech, yes, it is technically tentative, as is the Constellation Taurus. But the rest of the stuff I think is now confirmed. For the patch. Good shout, Sin, because I get quite confident about CIG releasing stuff as it gets closer. I was like, it hasn't been removed, but it could always get pushed back.
Yeah, it's the way I see it is if at this point, if it's tentative, then there's it may happen, but if it's not been confirmed, then it's not a guarantee.
Well, that's different from my sort of mind, and probably people get annoyed at my point of view here, which is if it hasn't been pushed off the roadmap this close, because it's basically cut off now, then it's probably not going off. But it still could, but probably not.
No. You can't say that. Cutoff is the patch releasing to me.
That is true. That is true.
Or the compiling of the patch being released.
I think that's fair. Like, stuff can get pushed out literally even during PTU. They can go, it's not ready yet.
Yeah.
So I do happen to be relatively, potentially overly confident about releases, and I get not too upset when they push stuff back. But I'm a Star Citizen optimist.
Yeah,
bam. Well, so that's good. That's nicely covered. Power management, version 2, capacitor stuff, and missile updates. These are major combat changes in Star Citizen. And my worry with this, we've done a little bit of combat, but my worry with this is that it's going to be bad. It could, I'm hopeful, but it could put combat in a place which is not ideal. Now, do you think that's a genuine possibility, or do you think this is going to have been really tried and tested QA and they've come up with a good solution? Do you know what the capacitor gameplay is?
Yeah. It's like Eve, isn't it?
Not quite like Eve's capacitor gameplay.
It's kind of like Eve.
I suppose, yeah.
You can basically get increased power from your capacitors.
Yeah. I tell you what, I'm going to tell you something. Yeah, I'm a little confused exactly what we're getting with capacitors, to be honest. I've read it like word for what CIG said, and I've elaborated and explained on some of the elements and areas of it, but some of it doesn't make 100% sense to me, because they've basically said capacitors, you'll have some choice of where to put extra capacitor energy into some of your systems. Yeah. So that sounds like I've got a choice to make. Do I put it into my shields briefly? Do I put it into my engines?
Yeah.
Do I put it into my weapons? Yeah. So capacitors exist separately from the items. Yeah.
Yes.
But they've also said that weapons, like laser weapons, they will use capacitors, and you can't hold the button down to fire them because they'll run out of power and they'll need to recharge.
Yes.
So laser weapons also have their own internal capacitors?
Possibly.
Exactly, possibly.
I think, because they're going to be running off of batteries, essentially, aren't they? So the capacitor will hold the charge. When that charge is gone, they will then have to recharge off the battery.
That's how I understand it as well.
I mean, that's generally how capacitors work.
But I suppose what it is that we don't know until it's in our hands. And so some of the other stuff that CIG have said is they want similar ships in dogfighting with similar skilled pilots to last for about 2 minutes before one of them is destroyed or disengages fully.
Yeah.
And I sort of like that idea. That sounds nice. But I think there's always a worry that it could be bad or not ideal with its less than ideal with its first implementation. I suppose it's an alpha. You sort of need to take the good with the bad when it comes with that. So hopefully that'll be interesting. But I would like... Sorry, after you.
I was going to say, I guess what you're trying to say is it would be a little bit unbalanced for people who use energy weapons if the capacitors are the same, more or less, for different types of ships. The same sort of size of ships.
Yeah, well,
because ballistic weapon people, although they have ammo and they can run out of ammo, they have the capacitor and they only really have a choice of putting it into thrusters or shields.
Yeah, it's just an interesting one. And we don't know enough about it yet. And as you explained, that would need so much balance to get right for ballistics versus energy. So yeah, the thing is that we don't truly know the extent of what we're getting for capacitor gameplay yet.
Yeah.
But we do know a lot more about missile updates. They're putting the proper full-on missile update now, putting them with their new intelligent flight controller system or computer system for them, the IFCS 2. So they'll move more appropriately. And there's missile operator mode. So this is part of operator modes, which are going to be great for multi-crew ships, basically breaking down loads of different tasks into different sort of tab through, scanning, mining, missiles, piloting, all that sort of jazz, and lots more in the future types of mode that you do in a ship. But if you're on a single-seater ship, you're going to have to choose which mode you're going to be in, and that means you can't use your conventional weapons and missiles simultaneously. You're going to have to switch between them. So Do you think that's a good idea to sort of separate missiles out like that, or do you think that's going to cause issues?
Maybe, because obviously back when we were, I mean, probably like Halloween last year, missiles were pretty OP.
That people were using them to farm the masks. For,
yeah, but I'm just thinking back to that sort of time. That's what's triggered in my head is the whole farming thing and stuff. But missiles were like pretty OP, and then they tried to nerf them.
I think they nerfed them pretty well.
I guess they didn't like what they ended up with, maybe.
No, so this was part of a greater missile overhaul. So they basically said, look, we're going to do this big missile overhaul. We're going to update it to the new system. It's not ready yet, so we're going to do some interim missile updates so that missiles aren't just broken. And I think I actually quite liked a lot of the missile updates that they put in. And this is just a lot more. So
yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's honestly one of those things where I'll have to try it and see.
Yeah, and I think that's the same for the capacitor gameplay, isn't it?
Yeah.
And sort of all bundled together with this as well, or at least part of this is, it could go into combat, maybe. There's scanning and radar updates as well. They've talked a bit about these where passive detection is going to be a bit different, and you when you're scanning things, you'll see different types of scanning blob, and you might be able to get some more information about what that scanning blob's in it, and when you're getting closer to targets will be able to hide next to each other, and you'll like have detect like a capital ship, but there could be loads of smaller ships within that. Do you think that we're going to get actually quite extensive scanning and radar updates with this release, or do you think it's going to be pretty minor?
I think. Well, I mean, I've seen the videos on it. It looks quite extensive. Like they seem to be overhauling like every single aspect of it.
But are we going to get it? That's like yes, and it looks good, but I don't have confidence that they're going to release all of that at once. That's what I think.
I mean, it says committed, mate.
Well, committed, but how much of what you've seen in those videos is going to be in those scanning updates that we're getting in 3.14? I suspect some of them are going to be in 3.15, 3.16.
I think it's all going to be there.
Okay. Now you're sounding like a Star Citizen optimist.
Well, it's not too complex, really.
I didn't realise you coded some of it. No, I know what you mean. I think they've been working on it for a while as well. And we know that there is going to be obviously quite extensive updates to scanning and pinging and stuff like that in the future for mission-based stuff and for exploration. And this is like a big step towards that. So, okay. Constellation Taurus. You probably haven't been aware that people have wanted this ship for a huge amount of time.
I'm fairly aware.
Okay. So, the Connie series, they released the sort of Andromeda ages ago, and then we got the Aquila and the Phoenix and all that sort of jazz. But the Taurus, we've been waiting on for ages, and seemingly it's like, why haven't you finished this pretty simple variants of the Constellation series? And it turned out that they kept on pushing it back. They were like, we're sort of out, but something else comes up. And it looks like it's going to be in 3.14, but it's not confirmed yet. It's tentative. But so have you seen any of the sneak peek internals and any of that stuff for the Taurus?
I think I've seen a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, because you would have edited some of that stuff together. So some people are hoping, such as myself, that they're going to update the rest of the Connie series to have strutless cockpits at the same time, rigid glass, no struts, and that they might get a little bit of a sort of like rework, just a little update. Now, they haven't confirmed that they're going to give the Constellations an update or anything. Do you think that's possible that they're going to have that with 3.14, or do you think they would have announced it more readily if they were?
Maybe. I mean, I had a theory about why they kept pushing it back.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Which is, I don't obviously know anything really, but I think that they obviously released the other ships, then they probably got I don't know, carried away with something else, or it just got sidetracked. And then it got to the point where releasing it as it was like the other ships was probably a stupid idea, because they're going to have to update it at some point. So they might as well just do it as a new, like the new style, essentially.
So that's a good tangent to go off. So my thinking is that the Constellation Taurus is going to look much better than the rest of the Connie series unless they update them. And that's an interesting one because people will just demand it to be updated. And I think they will update the Connies to some degree because obviously if the Taurus looks amazing and people are like, wow, then it's not appropriate to have the rest of the Connie series looking not as good, not up to date.
Yeah.
So maybe in 3.14 we'll see updates to the whole Connie series or soon after. I've got more ships written in some notes just basically because the Constellation Taurus is the only ship tentatively confirmed for 3.14, but we could see some others, but it would all be like, what could we see? Well, we might see a Xi'an cargo ship, we might see something else like a variant of a vehicle or a ship or something, but we don't know. 400i maybe, who knows?
Yeah, I mean, like the was it the Nomad wasn't announced or anything.
That was true. It just sort of
Just
turned up,
yeah.
And they do like to do that. Going to something that's going to be happening within the next week or so. Alien Week. So we've just had a big sale, and this is a smaller sale based and focused on alien ships, but also other alien lore and stuff like that. So do you think it's sensible for CIG to separate, have a little separate alien ship sale after Fleet Week, or do you think they should all bundle it in together?
I think Fleet Week is what it is because of it being the UEE Navy.
Okay, so its focus on combat ships, military, Navy is a good idea. Okay.
I would assume that in CIG's head or lore, whatever like database that they have, for reference, that they have like all the sort of ships that you'd find in the UEE Navy. And I'm assuming not many of them are alien type ships.
Yeah, I
mean,
I'm not sure. I don't think the UAE use any.
No, I was going to say that as well from a propaganda point of view. So lore-wise, propaganda, you don't want to be seeing your army fighting with alien ships, even though that they've now subsumed the fucking Tavaran and a kind of the Xi'an.
Well, so Xi'an and Banu, obviously they work together. Xi'an is sort of like more Cold War-y, or there is tension between the Xi'an and the humans. Not hugely, but there is a bit.
Yeah. But, I mean, at the end of the day, the UEE are Earth. Really.
Well, it depends. Are you a Terran nationalist, or you pro-Earth, pro-Terra? Exactly. It's going to be interesting to see the stuff sort of play out in the future. I quite like some people doing like role-play and stuff, so I'm looking forward to some interesting sort of creators emerging in the future for Star Citizen. What do you think of the possibility that we will see a Xi'an cargo ship go on concept for Alien Week?
I think it'll be nice. I'd like to see some more alien ships. I haven't seen many, to be fair. Apart from that one time at the Halloween thing where they gave us I can't remember what it was.
Scythe or a glaive? It would be probably.
Yeah, I think it was a glaive. Yeah, it kept ejecting me in the middle of the sky.
So the funny thing is with the Scythe and the glaive, they're still the old models of them. There's new updated models which they haven't really given us yet, which is weird.
Maybe they don't work properly.
But do you think it's viable that do you think it's potentially we could see a Xi'an cargo ship go on concept, because it's all rumoured at the moment?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's possible. It's possible anything can happen, you know?
Okay, yeah. I'm pretty confident that we're going to have something. It just sort of makes sense.
I mean, like you say, they have mentioned it before, so...
Yeah, and recently in the sort of lore, they've added there's a Xi'an human sort of tech thing going on, and they're making ships together.
Yeah.
So it sort of makes sense. Do you have a favourite sort of alien ship at the moment, or anything like that at all?
I don't think so. I'd have to look them up, and
I'll expose you to more alien ships at some points in. I think once we actually play Star Citizen a lot more and do stuff for ourselves rather than have set goals for the company and things, then maybe you'll be like, I love this ship the most. As in talks, by the way, when she plays games.
Yeah.
That's what I sort of wanted to talk about today.
Cheap.
Pretty short and sweet, to be honest.
Cheap and cheerful.
Cheap and cheerful, short and sweet. Unlike a Star Citizen ship, cheap and cheerful. No, cheap.
But yeah, I'd
Love
like
Star
to see
Citizen.
a nice, good Alien Week.
A nice, good Alien Week. Now,
Yeah,
I want to
yeah.
see a trash. Okay. I hope there's stuff going on, and like,
Yeah.
I don't think anything like Nine Toes Lockdown or anything will happen during Alien Week. I think they want to keep those things separately.
Mm.
I think that Nine Tails Lockdown now probably going to be part of the 3.14 cycle. But from what I've heard from CIG sources and rumours, there's a bit of conflicting opinions when it's going to be. Do you think we'll see Nine Tails Lockdown 3.14 cycle?
I don't know. I'd like to, but
I think we need something to bulk out 3.14's content.
yeah.
Like, genuinely. Like, they gutted a reasonable amount from it, and it would still be a good patch as long as it's got a good amount of accessibility. There's obviously huge combat changes and things like that coming, and Orison and Crusader, but I would like to see an event there, and that take up a large amount of time, and for it to be longer than Xenothreat was. Because I don't want to go through the same cycle of, let's all do an event. Oh, yeah, it's on for a day and a half, this section of it. It's like, come on. Yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about. Anything else you want to talk about, Zin?
No.
No, we're done. Thanks very much for listening. Very much appreciated. Say goodbye, Zin.
Goodbye, Zin.
Oh, what's this? I just found all your search history online. You filthy boy, buying spaceships and going on Ship Hub. Zin, show a picture of a sexy ship or something. You should have used NordVPN. It's a VPN, obviously, and it has my seal of approval because I shill for them. Use the links below to get a discount and help protect your data, identity, privacy, and to help with online accessibility. I'm shilling for spaceships today. Do you like building spaceships? Of course you do. JR Fabrication make officially licensed Star Citizen products and Airfix-like model kits. Do you want an Arrow fighter? Maybe a freelancer? Some Cyclone little buggies? Dragonflies? Oh my, you can buy them and build them, or just add them to your pile of shame. You want dioramas of ships and vehicles? They've got them too, and they continue to add more to their range. Follow the link down below to jrfabrication.co.uk/board to see all of the wonderful products they have on offer, and use the code BoredInvictus to also get some exclusive Fleet Week recruitment propaganda A3 art prints with each of your orders. Ooh. Every month we have a ship giveaway, and June is no different. We are giving away a Mercury Star Runner to one lucky viewer that comments on one of my videos made during June on the YouTubes. Just get involved in the comment section, ask a question, or tell me what you think about the video or the subject we were discussing. Thank you so much to my channel members who have pressed the join button below my videos, and my Patreons as well. Going the extra mile really, really helps the channel. Say thanks for helping the channel, Zin.
Thanks for helping the channel, Zin.
Consider becoming a channel member or Patreon as well, and maybe you'll get some poorly photoshopped naughty spaceship shots. Ooh, saucy. Thanks for watching and all your support.